Good afternoon, and welcome to Blindformers. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today I will be teaching you how to transform your Transformers Legacy Voyager class Jhiaxus, that's Jhiaxus, for any of those who are wondering, who can't see it spelled, and constantly hear Jhiaxus. Yeah, so for the blind and visually impaired and anybody else who just cares to give it a listen, I am going to transform this guy and verbally explain how to do it step by step. If you like what you see here and you want to help me raise awareness for the blind through unique and alternative means and methods, please consider subscribing and sharing and liking. Also, currently running a GoFundMe in order to help fund the channel for the next half year or so, and it would be really great if any of you who can spare can help out with that. The goal of this channel, the drive of this channel, is to increase awareness of the blind and, try to help people. So that's what we're doing here, because personally speaking, Transformers help me up in the noggin. They're a nice meditation tool for me as a blind person. It's a nice 3D puzzle, and I want to bring my love of Transformers to the entire community of the blind. So let's do it. And the only way I can do it is with your help, reaching people. Gotta reach them. How do I reach these kids? Okay, so let's get Jhiaxus transformed. He's actually a lot of fun, and I'll explain that. So first you want to remove his guns. He's got his big gun, and he's got his little gun. Now, what you also want to do is right by his head. You remember those things I said were missile batteries or grenades last time in my More Than Meets the Eye video on the robot review? They're actually sensors. It's a sensor array. I was completely wrong. And furthermore, I just found out that you can actually pull that sensor array off. It's on a siege peg and it has a siege peg, and this little thing by his head has a siege port. So you can actually pull that off. Now, to pull that off, what you want to do is feel the sides of it. It's completely smooth on either side until Kream, until you get to the actual. There's a little rough texture. So go down the smooth sides and find where that texture starts, and then right between that texture and the smooth sides is where you can pull this thing off from. It is a little difficult to get started because it's I guess it's kind of painted in there or something, but you can remove it. So we want to remove it, and immediately, so that you don't lose it or have a Kream that gets your butt out of the... Sit down or something, man. If you have problems like me losing tiny accessories because you lack the vision to find them when the cat, looking at you, Kream, bats them on the floor, you can take your sensor array, and in the back of his gun there's a siege port. We can just plug that sensor array directly into that siege port, and now it makes this gun into an entire sensor array, like a big old group of sensor machines that would be underneath a fighter that would be known as a cyber fighter, right? I guess the technological fighters, cyber warfare aircraft. They do things like take down radar dishes and scramble enemy sensors and stuff like that. They are very effective in the sky at removing your ability to see anything else in the sky or communicate with anybody in the sky. I forget the exact term for that type of fighter, but they're really cool. And that sensor array is very similar to what those fighters do. Now, let's disassemble this guy. Or I should say, transform him, because with no disassembly required. No disassemble number 9. All right. Pull his head area. So you got his head on this little spot that's connected to his 2 back wings. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it back from the center bit. Now the thing that the sensor array was connected to is connected to the front area where the nose cone and stuff is for the aircraft. So what you want to do is use that sensor array as kind of a small lever with your pointer finger, while with your thumb you're pushing inside where the this back of his area used to be, and you can push inside and spin up that nose cone for the plane. And we're going to go ahead and fold that nose cone out all the way, and then we're just going to let it sit. Not locked into anything, it's just loose, so it can get out of the way if we need it to get out of the way. Now we're going to go over here to the legs, and what we're going to do with the legs is we're going to go ahead and spin them 180 degrees, and we're not going to mess with the legs for a minute. That was all we were going to do with the legs. Now with the arms, with the backpack here, he's got two little winglets on either side. We're going to go ahead and fold each of those out. You can display him with those two folded out, but I display him with them folded in. Now that you've done that, you can go ahead and reach behind his head. So you got his head, and then you get this panel that's right there. And then you get this rougher textured panel that's on top of that panel. Those are two separate panels, and you can rotate them away. They're just clicked together with a tiny little peg, which is nice. It makes it easier to click them out of the way. And then it's just going to let it just hang out loosey-goosey down there. Now, take his head and fold his head into his body. There we go. If you want, you can spin the head so that his face is facing the inside of the cockpit. I like that idea. So, you can pretend like his eyes are actually looking at all the gauges inside the cockpit, which is kind of neat. I mean, I think the head ending up in the cockpit or any type of driver's seat is always fun. It's a fun idea. Now that that head is gone and this stuff is moving around, take the sensor array and you're going to push it now from the direction I'm at. All right, so my left hand's over here. I'm going to use my right hand to push it towards the other shoulder across from it. And that's going to make it fold down and inside. Now that that is out of the way and folded inside, go ahead and pick the nose cone up, and it's going to come up all the way. And now take that sensor array before the nose cone goes up all the way, and you're going to want to continue folding that in, and it's going to click into place quite nicely. It's just going to hang out on the side there, and that's where it's going to live. That's pretty good. I'm just say, guys, this is a fun aircraft. So now we're going to go ahead and do some quick things. We got to fold the arms inside the... Oh, wait. Before we fold the arms in, we've got to take care of his little hands. So we're going to find there's a like a siege peg on one of his arms. It sticks out a bit. I don't know if it's an exact siege peg, but it sort of feels like a siege peg. That's actually the part where the hand's going to fold in. So that panel's going to fold up, and then it's going to hinge at the elbow. So big wide open bit. Make sure that the fist is closed. He's got articulated hands, and then fold that panel back in. Now we're going to follow that same step on this side. We're going to find that panel. Where's that panel? There's that panel. We're going to close his fist. We're going to open that panel. We're going to rotate the fist inside of the panel, and then we're going to close the panel. Ah, I love it whenever there's fists hidden inside of things like that. It just makes me so happy. All right. Now we're going to collapse the shoulders in on themselves like he's got butterfly joints, and he's just going to collapse his shoulders down into the underside of the vehicle or the plane. Now we've got to rotate these guys so that the siege pegs are sticking down and the siege ports are sticking up on the wrists. I think that's how you're going to do it. Now that's folded down. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yep, there it is. Cool. Now just make sure you get these two guys lined up. Or maybe they don't click together at all. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But either way, they're going to hang out there. No. They do click together. They're just being stubborn. All right, you know what? We're just going to leave them. We're just going to leave them. It doesn't bother me. Maybe if I spin the arms. We're wasting time. Let's get back to the legs. Okay. So for the legs here, we're going to take and we've already rotated them. Now in the interior of each leg, on the inside of the lower leg section, there's this piece that's on a rotating hinge. And you're going to want to rotate that piece down and around, and it rotates almost 150 degrees, but not quite, because it's going to be stopped by some pieces. Which is okay. You want to do that for both legs, and they're just going to hang there. Now we're going to take and rotate the two little bat wings on his ankles out of the way. And you want to hold the leg in one hand, the front of the leg in one hand, while you grab this really coolly textured jet engine bit on the back of his leg. Grab it, and then you're going to want to pull it and the front of the leg apart from one another. And this is actually going to bring where the leg has a fun little hinge, and it's got a double hinge on it, and it's going to allow the leg to actually kind of pick up away. Now that these two parts are separated from each other, fold the foot inside of this hollow cavity we have shown. There we go, foot's folded in on both sides. Now close them down so that the jet engine sticks out, and close this one down so that the jet engine sticks out underneath that foot. Now on the side of the jet engine, there's this little nubbin that faces the foot, and on the underside of the foot, you'll find that there's a little bitty siege port, or a little bitty peg hole. And that nubbin peg is going to fit right into that hole and make this a very, very sturdy little thing. Now that these two are together, we can then snap that in place. Oh, wait. An important feature to remember whenever you're doing this. So snap these two guys in place, but then bend them at the knee. Now that everything's connected, bend it at the knee, and then his arms are bent down like that. He looks kind of weird right now. But you want to then fold this back section that has the wings attached to it down. It's got a few pegs that are sticking out, and then they're going to plug into some peg holes on the underside of these legs. So when the legs fold back down to create the very top of the jet, it's going to fold back down on top of those bits and actually make a very, very nicely secured spot. Oh, wait. If it cooperates. Are you going to cooperate? You just... All right, cool. Now, we're going to play with the wings in a second. Don't mess with the wings right now. Actually, you may want to mess with the wings a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and unhitch the wings. Now, the wings are cool because they actually have a hidden hinge in them. So you want to grab the back of the actual wing. Like, okay, so feel on the edges of the bat wing thing. It feels like a bat wing. I'm not sure what color it is. But on the very... The one spike that's closest, you want to the actual center of the jet. You want to grab that spike and rotate it upwards, and make sure that the hinge stays where the hinge is at. Then you're going to want to rotate that hinge backwards a bit, and it's just a double bar hinge. And now we've got an extended wings. So while we're playing with that section, hi Kream, we're going to come back over here to the underside of the robot or jet, and we're going to finish plugging things in. Yep. Kream, do you mind? Can you excuse Kream? Yes. Yeah. Hi. Yes. Hi, Kream. I'll let you out in a minute, man. I'm doing videos. I love you too, little dude. No, get out of the way. Ah, you've messed me up, Kream. Ah! I forgot something. I forgot an important step, Kream. Why would you do that to me? Right. Important step. So the shoulders can actually pull up one more bit, and that's an important step I forgot to mention. So Kream, you need to you're standing. I'm going to move over here. Okay. So what you do with the shoulders is you pull them on their bar hinges. They can actually thank you, Kream. They can actually separate from their moorings one more time and pull up on bar hinges and fold down. That's the spot I was forgetting. I always forget these shoulders move downwards once they fold into the robot. Now that the shoulders are moved downwards, they should actually be able to plug. Now, let's make sure this stuff... Oh, that's another problem. Everything was a little off center. So then these in his upper thighs that are now on the inside into kind of the underside of the jet mode, and kind of work to be like the ends of these awesome jets on the back end. There are two siege ports, or at least the equivalent of siege ports. Not quite siege ports, but you know those big, not quite siege port nubbins on the hands? They're actually going to fold in, and then they're going to click one into each of those spots. We're going to make it click. Come on, click. Click for me. Yes! All right, both of them are in. That part's in. Now we can finish up on this side and straighten everything out. Yeah, we can. This is looking good. Okay, so we're going to come back over here to the wings, and we're going to fold the wings back all the way on their double hinge, bar hinges, and I'm going to fold down the little bitty bat wings that are now hanging out at the back of the jet, and we're going to click now on the if you feel the batwing, you can feel right above it, there's this weird nubbin bit. And that's actually going to plug into this weird nubbin bit on the inside of the wing. And it all works out. It's pretty cool. I like it. So there we go. And then, it's a little hook thing on the side. And it's just going to hook this wing onto it. We're just going to hook the wing onto that little hook. That's a part of the leg. Make sure it's all straightened out and wonderful looking. There we go. And fold the little wings out. Make sure that bit's folded up. And there we have it. Let's finish up. Oh, yeah, fold the nose up. Okay. The nose doesn't actually click into place. I think it's supposed to. But there it goes. I just wasn't pushing it hard enough. All right. Everything's kind of folded up. Now we're going to take this newly created sensor emitter, and we're going to plug it into the nose of the spacecraft. Of the jet. Boom, right there on the nose. Now, I was thinking whenever I was plugging this in and it was the gun, I was like, well, giant gun right underneath the nose. Crazy. But when you're plugging it in as a sensor array underneath the nose, it makes more sense. And then this little pistol thing he comes with, if you feel on his back, you can find the siege port. And this pistol is actually thin enough to fit between those two leg sections. And if you plug the pistol in, then you're going to get a sort of little tiny winglet spike before the big winglet spike at the end. And yeah, so there you go, guys. That is how you transform Jhiaxus from his robot mode into his jet fighter mode with bat wings. It's the 90s. From what my friends tell me, this guy's multicolored as crap, so they threw on the bat wings because they went bat wings equal evil thing, right? And in the 90s, bat wings equaled evil thing, except for gargoyles. That was an exception. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the show. Please tune in next Prime, where I will be talking about this guy's vehicle mode and comparing him to a few of the other jets that we've gotten from the past Transformers generation waves to just kind of understand, is this an awesome jet or not? All right, bye-bye for now.